Well, hello internets, here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. Supposed to be a warm one, but I guess that's a good one considering. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, it's been a month since I've been unplugged. Not fully by choice. I started out the whole spring breakaway wanting to be detoxing by choice, away from electronics and YouTube and cable TV and all that, because I was spending way too much time in front of them. However, things change. Things get overwhelming. Things get piled up. And you start receiving phone calls and notices, and when it's not there, it's not there. And they disconnect you. So I've been unplugged and spent a couple of days here without, and it's a very interesting feeling for the first time in my life. You know, other than camping trips and a few nights in the city, being unplugged. It's been, what, 14 years or so? And it's weird, you know. I explored the mobile data thing for my cell phone. However, I quickly used up 6 gigabytes of data just in the first 36 hours, and I didn't even watch any YouTube videos or upload anything or anything like that. So I have no idea the mobile data, if it is of any good at all, or at least not, you know, not for my usage. Just imagine if I would have uploaded a bulk drop uploads, it would have probably, you know, the cell phone people would have cut me off again. So it's kind of a weird feeling knowing you're missing out on TV shows that you've spent years of your life dedicated to watching. You're missing out on TV shows and programmings and PVR shows that, I don't know, it's weird. It's not, I'm not saying that it consumed my life, but I had the PVR, and if I wasn't rowing that day the show was on, I would PVR it and come back at a later date and watch it. And that's kind of how I spent the last couple of years. You know, I immersed myself deeply into my YouTube, and pretty much spent the last 8 months, if you want to say, behind my in my office behind my computer. You know, I've had my GMC Sierra now for about 7.5 months, and I'm just under 5,000 kilometers. That's 5,000 kilometers. Not 15, not 50, not 500,000, 5,000. Hasn't even had its first oil change. Well, the 2016 GMC Canyon, in the same time period, I had 12,500 on it. So that tells you my mental state and my health during these last 7 months. The truck is still mint, is still premium, if you want to say, and I've been struggling with the idea, should I keep it or should I let it go? Yeah, I know it's about 8 months, it's about the right time to let something go, but at the same time, can I afford to? You know, I can't afford to let it go. But with everything declining, can I afford to keep it? I been exploring other options. You know, I have been homeless in my younger life. You know, sleeping out of the car or in a hostel, like a shelter kind of a thing, and way things are starting to unravel now. I am gearing up to possibility of exploring that road again. I would love to keep my truck, and I would love to keep my trailer, and use those as my home for the time being. Realistically speaking, winter's coming, and I'm gonna have to find a place to live for as cheap as possible in the next little while. It's either that or move somewhere warmer, but then you still gotta pay your way. You still need food, you still need fuel, you still need insurance and all that on the vehicles, and it's weird. I know I've said this before in my vlogs and videos, how our system seems to fail those who just when they need it the most. And it's like our system wants you to be broken, wants you to be a shell of what you used to be, and will not help you until then. Yes, I understand. My Sierra is a nice truck, and it is a valuable truck, but at the same time, with my illness the way it is, I very well can't walk to doctor's appointments yet. I am working on that, and I very well can't spend 6 hours or 7 hours riding a Greyhound bus to the city for a 15-minute doctor's appointment. That would kill me. That would be harsh. When you consider a bus ticket is actually more money than it would cost for fuel anyway for this truck to go. It doesn't make sense, not to mention your loss of independence and your loss of freedom. You'd have to rely on friends and family for rides to everywhere. Taxis in this town, they're not reliable at best, and they're actually very sketchy sometimes. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It kinda is what it is. I've been exploring other options. Like I've said, I've been trying to get things going so I can protect what I have. However, doesn't look like it's going to be there for enough. There's certain criteria that our certain government sets forth for certain individuals, and if you don't fall in that category, then the help is less. And I've noticed this over the years, and it's hard not to be bitter when you're struggling and all you need is help. You've asked for help years ago in the past, and you were turned down, and that essentially is what sets you on the course to where you are now. And without the internet and without the cable to distract my mind, especially at night when I can't sleep, my mind tends to go to places that it should not go. That's not a healthy place to go. I know they're not real. I know it's not real. I know the thoughts aren't good to have, but when they're all you have, it is hard to drown them out. I've gone for drives. I've gone for drives in the country. I've gone walking in the park trying to redirect myself, if you want to say, trying to go another direction, but there comes a time when they become too loud and you can't ignore them, and I've tried my best, and I don't know. You talk to people, you talk to your doctor, and they immediately panic. They want to send you to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist doesn't even bother talking through or about you, about what's bugging you or what your problems are. They just pill you up instantly, and those pills make you incoherent, make you want to drool and just lay there all day. And well, unfortunately, I've got a life I want to live. Back when I was trying to work, I had a job that I was trying to work, and those poison, whatever the meds were, they were nasty. I wouldn't feed them to my worst enemy, but it kind of is what it is. There's a lot of stuff on my mind. That's why I can't. I have a hard time being creative when, that kind of thing is going on, and dealing with appointments and paperwork and specialists and phone calls and contradictions and all this stuff that goes along with that is very frustrating, and finding out that you've worked your whole life and it may not be there when you need it, especially the short-term emergency support is not there when you need it, because your assets that you've worked so hard for is going against you. So, you know, if I let the bank have everything, you know, everything, and I walked away with a dirty shirt on my back, then the system would be there and it would help me. But in the meantime, I've just ruined my future, whatever it would have been anyway. I have no credit. I have a repossessions, probably will be hauled to court, probably will have all this other stuff to deal with, but then the system will help me. And it's like, why wouldn't they help a guy when he asks for it, but yet they will help somebody after they have given up? You know, with the crime that's going on in our city recently, it's no wonder people have turned to that, because the system's not there. It's plain and simple not there. But pretty much, guys, sorry for starting the day off kind of gloomy, but I'm gonna try to turn the day around, try to do a park walk or so, and well, take it on from there. Well, hello internets, here we are. Little bit of a evening update. I know it's been all day since I did an update, but hey, that's the way she works out sometimes. Did a lot of running around today, appointments and paperwork, getting things going and rolling the best I can, trying to figure out loopholes and ways to do what I need to get done, ways to keep certain items without having to give them up, ways to try to remain some kind of normalcy out of all this chaos. I was asked here today, is there anything in the house, like, you know, in my property that I really can't do without? And I didn't really know what to say. However, I've had some time to think about it, and you know, there really isn't. Other than, of course, the dog and my cat. I would love to be able to keep the truck. I would love to be able to keep the cargo trailer, you know, the camper conversion cargo trailer. I would love to be able to keep a laptop or a desktop computer. I would love to be able to keep my tools, bicycles. I could go on and on and on, because, well, why do you think I bought them? Why do you think I've hung on to them? Why do you think I haven't sold them? Obviously, for obvious reasons, because, well, I want them. However, the more I think about it, you know, those are really just material things. They're just possessions. They just weigh you down. They just keep you chained and tied down on a path that you really don't want to be on, or that is not healthy for you to be on. You know, giving up everything but keeping your dog and cat, you know, makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? As much as I like my $1,200 Weber barbecue, you know, it's just a possession, right? It doesn't really matter in the long run of things. What, another 5 years, maybe? 6 years, that barbecue will start to need parts replaced on it, and it'll be given up on me, so why should I, you know, sacrifice to keep it? Obviously, the house, you know, is in need of maintenance and repair. It's an older home, obviously. Any home's going to need maintenance and repair. Why should I struggle and fight and stress and worry myself into a early grave just to try to keep a house that I'm not going to be able to use, because, well, I'll be dead, right? You know, I was thinking the other, well, not the other day, but earlier, if I were to get rid of my truck, I know I'm insane, I know, thinking that way, I've only had it for like 7 months or whatever, and 8 months or whatever it's been, and if I were to get rid of it, what would I get? Obviously, if I don't have the house, I don't really have the need for the truck. However, what would I buy to replace it? Maybe some kind of van or so. With a larger van, you can take out the seats or fold the seats down and sleep in it. Have yourself a mobile camper or home, if you will. And given the way my situation's turning out, that might actually make a lot of sense. I was told today that if I sold my truck, then things would be a lot better. However, I don't think they realize the price I paid for my truck and the monthly payment that I'm paying for it. When I tell people exactly how much I paid for it and exactly how much my payment is, they think I'm crazy. And, well, I'm not. It's true. If you believe in blessings and gifts, this truck was a blessing, was definitely a gift. And that's why I'm fighting to keep the truck, is because it's not something I'll ever be able to afford again, chances are. And given the circumstances that this truck came into my possession, it was definitely meant to be, and definitely a gift. It's not every day you get a truck of that caliber for the price I paid for it. It doesn't happen. So it kind of is what it is. You know, I was a little bit stressed out, ended up going for a good walk in the park. I've been trying to walk every day this week, trying to get muscles built back up to where they need to be. As well as I stopped by the bike shop and talked to the owner of the bike shop. Him and I kind of have history, as well as he was part of the bike shop group or crowd that I was part of way back. The same bike shop that kept me out of trouble and allowed me to grow up without ending up in jail or some other facility. And didn't really go into huge detail on what's going on, but some of those bicycles that I've had for, it's hard to believe, 20 years. It's really hard to believe when you think about it. Over 20 years, in fact. Some of them are actually worth money now. They are, I forget the word he used, they're not collectible, but they're like a retro thing that people actually like. Given the fact that when I did build them, they were built well and built right. They're not cheap, and they weren't cheap then, and those components are hard to find now. So he's got connections and contacts, you know, through friends and various places, that he thinks maybe he can sell my bicycle collection. I hate to use that word, but it's, you know, it's what it is, right? I have one of Dad's bicycles that he bought right before he passed away that I'll never ride. Dad never rode. I've got my Rocky Mountain Blizzard that was actually one of the last frames that a welder that worked for Rocky Mountain built before he left, so that frame has collectible value, sort of, and it's got some value. Then there's my one-of-a-kind hand-built Kona that I spent some good money on when you consider how old I was at the time. Really good money on, and then I never really rode it. I know it sounds like a crime not to ride a bike, but my life changed right then. That was right the time there where Dad was diagnosed with cancer and we ended up being homeless. The bicycle just hung on a hook, and then when I come back to town here, my life had changed, and I got involved working and with a girl, and my life kind of spiraled to a different direction. And there's a couple other ones that were rare then, limited editions then, that I still have that are of interest now. So given the way things are going, if I don't take this opportunity, those bicycles are probably either going to end up in the scrap pile, or one day some big greedy corporation is going to come and seize everything and won't have any idea the values of them, and you know, they'll end up, you know, selling them for, you know, $30–50 kind of a thing. So if I can get them now to somebody that wants them or that can use them, and realistically, what's a 20-year-old bike worth? Not nowhere near what I paid for it, and nowhere near the value I think or thought they were. However, at least if you respect the bicycle, at least allow it to live another life with somebody else. You know, thinking about my life the way it's been the last little while and how it's changed so much that sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is this the path you want to be on? I know I've said this before, some of the most happiest times in my life was way back before I got roped into slavery and got deep in debt and stuff. I had my old rusty truck and my cat. I lived in an apartment. If I wanted to hop in the truck and disappear for 3 or 4 days, I did it. You know, the cat would ride shotgun, and it was all good. Well, I no longer have the cat. He left me a few years ago, and my rusty truck has turned into the truck I have. And of course, I got the dog, which has been my companion. Very good companion, especially through all of this. People don't understand a dog unless you've had a dog. Those that don't have a dog don't know what they're missing, and those that have a dog that refuse to spend time with the dog definitely don't know what they're missing either. You know, an animal can't give you love per se like a human, if that's what you're looking for. And you better not try it with a dog, because that can definitely get you into trouble. But a dog can definitely give you compassion and kindness, and be your best friend when you need it. Unless I've got the most one-of-a-kind weirdest dog in the world. But this one here is a rescue dog that I rescued 4 years ago. And I told somebody today, in fact, that she was a rescue dog. And the person asked me, did you rescue the dog? Or did the dog rescue you? And I thought to myself, you know, that's true. I didn't rescue the dog. The dog rescued me. There has been times in the last year, especially 2 years, even this last winter when it was really dark for me. I was in some real bad places, and my animals, my cat and my dog, were one of the things that brought me back. Nobody will understand unless you've been there yourself. And if you've been there yourself, it's definitely not a place that you want to have a return trip to. However, sometimes, you know, you end up getting lost and taking a detour and ending up, well, going back through there. But it is what it is, guys. The day was a kind of a warmer, humid, muggy kind of day. Had a little bit of rain really early this morning, and it is currently kind of spitting right now, threatening to rain, and we might end up with some rain throughout tonight. But it is what it is, and around we go. I've jabbered on enough on this here vlog. I will cut down what I can and share with you whatever doesn't seem too incoherent or a desperate cry for help or anything, and kind of take it from there. So as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.